Yo, what's up guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Tensura x COTE, The God and the Genius by Tempest_Moon. Chapter 16, Strategic Plans. Kiyotaka. After meeting up with Rimuru, we then started discussing what we are going to do about the situation. Horikita was still displeased with Rimuru's presence, but thankfully, she didn't voice out her thoughts. So, may I ask you guys what happened during that trial? Rimuru opened up a conversation and asked both of us with a concerned look on her face. It didn't went well. I thought that we might get an upper hand against them because we have a witness, but it didn't work as we thought it should. I said to her with my expressionless face, and I think that my answer satisfied her. Well, that's a bad news. So what are you going to do now? She asked, but before I could answer, Horikita spoke first. That's what I'd like to find out myself, Tempest-san. Because you are really interested on butting yourself in when no one even asked you to. Then would you mind telling us your thoughts that might help us find a solution to this problem? Those words are glazed with contempt, but no one would notice it if they didn't know that Horikita is feeling a bit jealous about her. Rimuru noticed this action, and I can sense that she's trying her best to ignore it. I have my opinion about the matter, and I think this would be highly valuable to you guys, she said with a proud tone. She did not even acknowledge Horikita's spiteful words earlier and just smiled. We will be the judge of that, Horikita said in a condescending tone, which made Rimuru stop for a moment. I'm having a hard time finding out the best possible solution to mitigate the tension, but it looks like the fire only got intense. Fufufufu. Is that so? Well, I don't care if you disagree, but I know for sure that Manabu-senpai would think otherwise. Hearing her brother's name being mentioned, Horikita's expression darkened as she stared towards Rimuru. Don't you dare mention my brother casually. I know he's been giving you privileges which I think you didn't even deserve, so don't get that to your head, she said in a low, intimidating voice, but it looks like Rimuru was not even bothered by it. I was impressed by the dominating aura that Horikita is showing, but seeing Rimuru's nonchalant expression makes me rethink my judgment about her. I see. Fuahahaha. Is that why you're always angry at me? Oh, don't worry, I don't plan on taking your big brother away from you. Besides, it looks like he doesn't even want to be lumped in with you at all. Horikita began showing a sour expression as she faced Rimuru. I, on the other hand, kept my mouth shut so that I can observe how things would end up in the time being. I'll make my brother acknowledge me no matter what, and there's nothing you can do to stop that. So you better watch your back, Tempest-san, if you don't want to get hurt. Even with the blatant threat, Rimuru was unfazed. I wonder if it really didn't bother her, or maybe she's just trying to hide her nervousness. Well, I don't care what your goals are. But let me tell you something, if you keep antagonizing me, then your hopes of reaching Class A will never succeed. Horikita then gave me a side eye with a hint of annoyance. I didn't talk to her about that. So why are you looking at me with that face? I didn't voice my complaints to Horikita because I know that this would only shift her focus towards me, which I do not want happening. I don't hate you, and in the first place I don't really care about you. But hearing my brother talks about you makes my blood boil. Why does it have to be you that he acknowledge? Why doesn't he see how hard I worked to reach up to him? There it is, she's telling how she really feels. And you think I'm the reason why your brother doesn't have any time for you? Well, aren't you being a little bit unreasonable? I also don't care about you, but I believe we share the same goal for now. So I don't think fighting against each other would be advisable, Rimuru said in a gentle manner, and this calmed down Horikita for a bit. But if you really want to fight me, then I guess I could do your brother a little favor and kick you out of this school, so that he doesn't spend any more of his time agonizing that his precious little sister is nothing but a failure. The fury of Horikita's rage erupted after hearing those words. She then tried approaching Rimuru's position, but I successfully stopped her. Why would you say that, Rimuru? If this escalated any further, this would be bad. Horikita was boiling with anger, and her expression says it all. Bold words for someone who got embarrassed in the cafeteria. You only talk big, Tempest-san, but you're nothing but a weak little girl who loves to pretend she's above everyone. Horikita bombarded Rimuru with insults as I stopped her. She didn't notice me though, which was odd for some reason. I like to pretend I'm above everyone? Have you looked in the mirror this morning? If there's anyone who's weak here, it's you. Want to find that out? We are in our classroom, So unnecessary actions are not acceptable in this moment. While I was holding her back, it looks like Horikita finally noticed my presence. What are you doing? Let go of me, Ayanokoji-kun. I think you're being irrational here. Think before you act. We are being monitored right now. Rimuru told me about the cameras in the room before, but I never told anyone about it until now. What do you mean? Look over in the corner of our room. Peel your eyes and look. Horikita reluctantly did what I told her, and Rimuru was looking amused by the turn of events. Did she purposely instigated Horikita to attack her? But why? I'm uncertain if that's correct, but that's my biggest hunch right now. Her actions are sometimes unpredictable that I'm finding it hard to read her. Is this how you work, Tempest-san? You act weak and fragile so that people underestimate you. Emotions are the one factor I'm trying to understand right now. I'm often told that I showed no emotions, but the truth is, I don't even know the purpose of those emotions. You're right. But why would the school put a security camera in this room? Horikita asked the most understandable question in front of me, but before I could answer, I think she finally found out the reason why. I see. That's why they can evaluate us, huh? Well, thank goodness we kept our good behavior until now. She found out the reason that fast, huh? Ayanokoji-kun. How did you found out about this camera? Fufufufu. With her question, Rimuru chuckled for a moment and is now smiling at me. Is this her plan? What should I do about this? I feel like Rimuru is the one who sets up this situation. But I can't find the reason why she would do so in the first place. Why are you laughing, Tempest-san? I find nothing funny in this situation. Oh, don't worry, I'm quite the happy person you see. But for your information, I am the one who told Kyo about the cameras. With Horikita's confusion, Rimuru was having fun about this. On the other hand, I'm finding it difficult on how I should act about the situation. You made the right decision, Kyo. Fufufufu. I'm sorry for making you angry, Horikita-san. I didn't think that it would make you that mad. Is she testing me? Well, it did. Don't apologize if you don't mean it. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. The tense atmosphere thankfully got better, and now we can rationally think like a group. They change quick, huh? But I think Horikita is just only suppressing her hate towards Rimuru. It looks like both of them are on friendly terms for now, which is good for my mental health. I think I couldn't take any of their further battles if it occurred again. Now that we got that out of the way, here's what I am thinking. I said while preparing to tell my thoughts. They both switched their attention towards me and I began to talk. Well, you see that there's a camera positioned in our class, right? I wonder if that's also applied to different classes. This could work. Thanks to Rimuru, I just found the solution to this problem. The only thing left for me to do is to let Horikita take the lead. That's given, Kyo. I think that each and every class have their own cameras in a hidden position. But I doubt that the other classes didn't notice it yet. Rimuru responded to my words with her own thoughts. I think that Horikita understands by now what I'm trying to imply. Let's see if this works out. If that's the case, then I have an idea on how to solve this problem. Horikita said confidently, which made Rimuru and I look at each other. We then followed Horikita and all of us headed towards the place of the incident. Will you look at that? Looks like my idea can work. What do you mean? It seems like Horikita have a plan in mind, and I can see Rimuru having an excited look on her face when she asked that question. Let me show you how a true genius work, Tempest-san. She then pointed the corners of the hallway where Sudo's fight occurred, and just like I thought, there's no camera placed in there so anyone can get away if they tried to make a scene. There's no camera placed in this, right? What if we set up a camera in here and try to bluff them out of it? She really hit the spot, huh? Looks like I've got myself a very useful friend. That might work actually. All we need is a couple of cameras and lure those guys here. Rimuru is in agreement with Horikita's plan, and I also don't have any complaints about this. Wait a minute. Is this Rimuru's goal all along too? If that's the case, then I have to watch out for myself even more. The thought occurred to me after we left the classroom. Rimuru purposely incited Horikita to make me voice out about the cameras so that she will get the idea of putting fake ones on the place of the incident. This seems far-fetched, but what if that is actually her goal was? Would it be possible that she already knows what I've been planning all along? This only made me remind myself to never let my guard down when I'm around her. What's wrong, Kyo? You look like you're not feeling well. I'm good. I was just thinking about something. With my reply, Rimuru smiled and approached me. Don't think about it too hard. I'm on your side for now so you don't have to worry about it. She whispered on my ear and it made an uncomfortable feeling in my senses. This is what you want to happen. She then moved away from me and stood beside Horikita, who was thinking of a plan of her own. This is bad. Really bad. As I looked at her back, I can't ignore the feelings that I felt earlier. What was that? Why is my heart pounding so hard? What is this feeling that I'm feeling? As I stared at her, she then looked back at me and smiled. I see. You really are something I should never underestimate. Rimuru Pav, Master. If you keep doing that, he will be suspicious about your existence even more. Is that so? Well, I guess I better stop doing that. I tried having fun while messing around with Kyo, but if Seal said that it's not a good idea, then I won't do it anymore. Foo. Playing with them is fun in its own ways, huh? And it looks like Horikita really did thought that she's the one handling the situation. It's funny to think that Horikita acts high and mighty, and I don't have any complaints against that. In fact, I find it more amusing that she can be like that in front of Kyo. Rimuru, because you asked to be a part of this, I would like to entrust those boys to you. Gather them and bring them here when we give you the signal. Do you understand? Okay. I do. I'll be going now. Honestly, if one thought about it, her action really is annoying, but I guess that's just a part of her. I left the two of them and started thinking on how I can make this work. I guess Kushida can serve a purpose in this matter, huh? Let's make her do the work. I then took out my phone from my pocket and dialed Kushida's number. She answered after a few seconds and we shared a few greetings before getting to the topic at hand. So that's what you want me to do? Well, I guess I can make that quick. Thank you, Kushida-san. I'll make it up to you if I have the chance. After saying that, I almost closed my phone, but before I did, I can hear Kushida chuckle for a moment. Now that you mentioned that, I think you can make it up to me by burning those tapes. Foohahaha. You're funny, aren't you, Kushida-san? Anyways, see y'all later. After that, I closed my phone and headed towards the library. There's no good book in here, huh? The truth is, there are actually some good books in the library, but it's not something I find interesting to read. After a moment of search, I found myself taking a book about a certain novel of a boy who trained himself since he was young to reach his goals. This library sure does have the collection of different genres, huh? This looks interesting. I opened the book and read the first few pages of it while I sat down on the chair. A boy who is possessed by a fox spirit. Well, that's a story I want to witness with my own eyes. Master. If you wish, I can recreate the world where this boy exists. That's not necessary at this moment. I'm not done with my fun here yet. While I was busy reading the book, someone approached my seat and began talking to me. Oh my. To see you in here even though we just finished our midterms. You really are studious, aren't you, Tempest-san? I looked up in front of me and saw a familiar face. I'm just enjoying my time. What about you? Are you here to study yourself? I said in a friendly way, which made her laugh a bit. She then sat down on the available seat in front of me and placed her hands on her chin. I'm here to take a breather too. Those exams took a toll on me, so a little bit of relaxation is needed too. I couldn't agree more, Sakayanagi-san. She then laughed again and I placed my book away. What do you need from me, Sakayanagi-san? To see you approach me out of nowhere, it seems like I took your interest, huh? I looked straight at her without batting an eye. She also looked at me with such danger that anyone who dares underestimate her would suffer. Nice try. But that kind of intimidation don't work on me. For a kind of being that lived eons, this things doesn't bother me at all. I heard that Ryuan has been targeting your class. Ryuan? Foo. She already caught up on that too, huh? I guess. I'm not certain myself, but how did you know that Ryuan is targeting my class? I asked back with such caution. I know for sure that one wrong move and I'll be wrapped between her fingers, which was actually not bad if I'm being honest. That's a nice response. She seemed displeased about it, but I understood why after she showed me a recorder under the table. Foo. What a sly little loli. You're good, Tempest-san. To think that you even perfectly answered those tests. You are the talk of the school, you know. I am. Well, I did try my best, that's all. What's this? Is this some kind of interrogation? After I responded, Someone approached our table and placed a cup of tea in Sakayanagi's side. The guy then politely left after bowing. You have servants. It seems like Class A have much privileges than I thought. It makes me jealous, you know. This caught her attention and I saw a glint of menace in her eyes. Say Tempest-san. How about you transfer to our class? That came out of nowhere. But I guess that's not a bad deal. I would if I could, but you can't just find 20 million points out of nowhere now, can you? I can see the pure surprise on her face. Her smile only got intense and I can see a glint of amusement in her eyes. Foo. You really are interesting, Tempest-san. To think you even have the information about that is shocking, you know. Looks like that information is not known for everyone, huh? Why are you praising me? You don't need to do that. And besides, I also have a quite useful information, rats. She intently listened to me without letting her guard down. I see. It seems like Class D have a very good ace on their hands, huh? I'll be looking forward on crushing you to the ground, Tempest-san. Please wait until I do. A direct challenge coming out from her. Every day, things just getting better. Foo. Oh, you don't have to worry. I don't need to dirty my hands on beating you. This turned her smiling face into a sour expression. She then cackled for a moment and gave her declaration. That's great to hear, Tempest-san. I find this school boring anyway, but if you're willing to make things interesting for me, then hit me with all your might. Phew, ha. Are you sure about that? Seeing my carefree attitude, I can see her changing gears and taking this thing seriously now. Yes, I'm very sure. Right now, Ryuan is making very good progress on crushing you guys down, so it will take you some time before you can come back to your feet. Oh, and consider that information as an act of goodwill. Thank you. I'll take that information whether it held truth or not. But let me tell you something too. I leaned closer to her and showed her my vicious smile. Don't ever think that a power-hungry monkey can beat our monotonous genius.